Let's start with one of the most infamous internet urban legends. Normal adult content for normal people is one of the most infamous and unsettling internet urban legends. The story first surfaced in June 2010 when a user on 4chan's claimed to have found a strange website with a manifesto promoting a so-called normal approach to adult content. However, what was actually hosted on the site was anything but normal. The site's manifesto claimed to promote normal adult content, but people who visited it described bizarre clips, some showing people sitting in silence for hours, others featuring unsettling animal abuse, and some that were outright grotesque. The creepiest part? Users reported receiving mysterious emails with video links that couldn't be found anywhere on the site. Users claimed that instead of typical adult material, the website contained a collection of deeply unsettling, surreal, and grotesque videos. Some were seemingly harmless but had an ominous tone, while others were described as outright disturbing. Here are some of the most notorious videos allegedly found on the site. A 6-minute video of an elderly man sitting on a mattress in a dimly lit room. He is crying softly while staring at the camera. Occasionally, a hand appears from off-screen to stroke his head. There is no dialogue, only a faint static-like background noise. This 4-minute clip features a young woman sitting in a chair while a man off-camera asks her unsettling personal questions. After a few minutes, she starts weeping uncontrollably. The screen then cuts to black. One of the most infamous clips. A man tied to a chair is covered in an unknown substance while a chimpanzee enters the room and begins licking his feet. The footage is described as highly disturbing and ends abruptly. Some people who found the site reported receiving emails from an unknown sender containing additional video links, but these videos were not available on the website itself. The emails had no text, just a single attachment with a video. The videos contained heavily distorted audio, strange visual glitches, and hidden messages that some claimed included encoded coordinates and subliminal flashes of disturbing imagery. Some users attempted to trace the emails, but never found the sender's identity. At some point, the website completely vanished, leaving behind only screenshots and fragmented discussions across internet forums. No record of who owned the domain or where it was hosted. No confirmed evidence of who created the site. Some believe it was a horrific art project. Others think it was an elaborate ARG that got out of hand. To this day, no official copies of the videos exist. What remains are secondhand accounts, eerie descriptions, and speculation. The website no longer exists, and no verified archives of its content remain. However, discussions about it continue on Reddit 4chan and Creepypasta wiki page. Although some claim to have backups of the videos, they have never been publicly released. One of the most baffling mysteries in Reddit history is the A858 project, a cryptic account that started posting seemingly random, encoded messages in 2011 and continued for years. Despite efforts from top cryptographers, Reddit detectives, and internet sleuths, no one has ever fully decoded what it all means or who was behind it. The mystery began on January 30th, 2011, when the Reddit user suddenly appeared. The account never commented on other posts and had no profile information. Instead, it only posted long strings of seemingly random numbers, letters, and symbols. At first, people ignored it, thinking it was just another spam bot. But then, something strange happened. Curious users on r/solving A858 started analyzing the strange posts, and some messages were cracked. The decrypted text included images, ASCII art, and cryptic messages, but they never revealed a clear purpose. Some of the decoded content, references to historical events, pixelated images, Some believe these were maps or locations, long sequences of prime numbers, obscure literature passages. As more people tried to crack the codes, things took a darker turn. Certain messages would delete themselves right after being posted. Some posts contained links to coordinates, leading to nowhere or random locations. A 858 never responded to any comments. Occasionally, posts contained military terminology or classified-looking documents. Because of this, some theorized that A858 was actually a government project or some kind of spy communication system. In 2015, A858 posted a cryptic message. "We apologize for the inconvenience. You can still access historical messages." After that, the account went completely silent. All posts were deleted. The subreddit was locked. The user vanished without a trace. People assumed the mystery had ended until A858 returned. In 2016, A858 started posting again, but this time things were different. The cryptic messages were even more complex. Some posts contained fragments of text from older messages. Some pointed to encrypted websites. A few people claimed to have successfully messaged A858, but the responses were brief, vague, or completely random. In 2020, the account stopped posting again, and to this day, no one knows what it was all about. Some copies of the posts exist on archives, and the subreddit remains as a discussion hub. The original account is still viewable, but the majority of its posts are gone. The website deathclock.net, one of the most well-known versions, was created in the early 2000s and is still active today. It operates in a minimalist, eerie style. You enter your birth date. It asks for your body mass index, gender, and smoking habits. Then, with a single click, it generates your death date. A countdown timer appears, ticking down the seconds until your predicted demise. For many, this is just a fun, creepy internet gimmick, but some users claim the results are disturbingly accurate. One of the most famous internet urban legends surrounding the death clock involves a man who reportedly used the site in 2005. After entering his details, the death clock predicted he would die on a specific date in 2010. He laughed it off at first, calling it just a dumb website. As the years went by, he forgot about it. Then, in 2010, on the exact predicted date, he died suddenly from a heart attack. His friends later found the death clock screenshot he had saved years prior, sending chills down their spines. In 2016, a YouTuber, who preferred to remain anonymous, made a video testing the death clock. He entered his information and was given a death date just 3 months away. As a joke, he set a reminder on his phone for that exact day. 3 months later, on the predicted date, he was involved in a serious car accident. He survived, but the near-death experience shook him to his core. Some believe the death clock's prediction acted as a self-fulfilling prophecy, while others think it was just a creepy coincidence. Deathclock.net is still online, and similar sites have appeared over the years. It remains one of the internet's creepiest curiosities, a mix of dark humor, urban legend, and psychological horror.
Classroom, or in old language a couple thousand years ago, disciples, those who are trying to prepare themselves for entry into the evolutionary level above human, synonymous with the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven.
Heaven's Gate was a religious UFO cult founded in the 1970s by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles. They believed that human bodies were just vehicles and that their souls could transcend to a higher level of existence. According to their teachings, a spaceship was trailing the Hale-Bopp comet in 1997. This was their salvation. The only way to board the spaceship? Leave behind their earthly bodies. On March 26, 1997, 39 members of Heaven's Gate were found dead in a mass suicide, dressed in matching black outfits and Nike sneakers, lying peacefully in bunk beds. It was one of the most shocking and bizarre cult events in history. Here's where things get unsettling. While the cult members are long gone, their website is still alive. The official Heaven's Gate website looks exactly like it did in the 1990s, featuring a plain white background with bold black text. The cult's manifesto still urging visitors to prepare for the next level. The original FAQs explaining their beliefs and why they exited their bodies. Downloadable PDFs of their final messages. It's as if time froze the site at the moment of their deaths. But there's one thing that stands out: a working email address. One of the creepiest mysteries surrounding the Heaven's Gate website is that if you email the listed contact, you might actually get a response. People have tested it, sending emails asking about the group. Some received brief but polite responses, stating that the website is maintained for historical purposes. The emails are reportedly answered by 2 former members who didn't go through with the mass suicide. They claim their role is simply to preserve Heaven's Gate's teachings. But why? Some believe they are still devoted to the cause and waiting for their own exit. They are monitoring interest in the cult, possibly recruiting. It's just an eerie online memorial. Either way, the fact that someone is still keeping the cult's digital presence alive raises serious questions. Planecrashinfo.com is a website dedicated to archiving aviation disasters. It contains detailed reports on plane crashes dating back to the 1900s, pilot last words transcribed from black box recordings, crash statistics, maps, and investigative findings. The most disturbing section? The last words archive, where visitors can read, and in some cases hear, the final moments of doomed flights. When a plane crashes, investigators recover the cockpit voice recorder, CVR, also known as the black box. It records the pilot's final conversations before impact. Often you can hear their calm professionalism even in a crisis, but sometimes there are screams, panic, or eerie moments of silence. Air France Flight 447 was a tragic accident that occurred on June 1, 2009. The Airbus A330-203, carrying 228 passengers and crew, was en route from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to Paris, France, when it vanished over the Atlantic Ocean. The crash became one of the most infamous aviation disasters in history, largely due to the chilling final moments in the cockpit. The pilots were disoriented in a storm over the Atlantic. They fought to regain control, but the plane was in a deadly stall. Their realization that they were doomed is terrifying. Many visitors to planecrashinfo.com report feeling a deep sense of unease after reading the final words, increased fear of flying, a haunting curiosity about aviation disasters. Some pilots even listen to black box recordings as part of training, using them as a reminder of how quickly things can go wrong. The Shadow Web, a name whispered in dark web circles, spoken about only in hushed warnings. It is not a typical dark web marketplace or secret forum. The shadow web is something different, something alive, and once you enter, you may never leave. Those who claim to have found it report a chilling experience. The moment you land on the page, your browser locks up. There is no back button, no exit button, no way to close it. Even forcibly shutting down your device doesn't work. Instead, the site begins displaying a series of random, disturbing images, horrific crime scene photos, decomposing bodies in dark basements, symbols that resemble ancient rituals. At first, they seem random, but then one of the images is of your own house. It doesn't matter if you use a VPN. It doesn't matter if you've never given out your address online. The site knows where you live. Some users reported hearing faint tapping sounds on their windows after visiting. Others experienced phone calls from unknown numbers, only to hear static and distant breathing. And then the final image appears, a countdown timer. No one knows what happens when it reaches 0, because those who have seen it, they are never heard from again. A small Twitch streamer known as Dark Eco TV was doing a live deep web exploration stream when he allegedly stumbled upon the shadow web. His chat watched as he laughed off the site's eerie design until his screen started glitching. The stream abruptly cut off. Viewers assumed his internet went out, but he never came back online. His Twitch account, Discord, and even his YouTube channel were all deleted within 24 hours. A few of his followers tried to reach him in real life, but found out from his sister that he was missing. Police investigated his apartment. His computer was still running, but his chair was overturned and the webcam was still on. The last thing he typed in Discord was, "Who the hell is knocking? It's 3 a.m. He was never found. The Watchers is a hidden dark web page with no clear way to access it. You can't find it through search engines, and it's not shared on any forums, but somehow some people just find it. And when they do, the site already knows who they are. The first thing it does is greet you by your full name. Then it shows you your exact location. Next, your most recent online activity, sites you've visited, messages you've sent, even drafts you've never posted. But the most horrifying part, the site reveals something you've never told anyone, a thought, a secret, a memory you've never shared online. Some users claim that the Watchers can see them in real time. They describe seeing strange, shadowy figures standing just behind their reflection in their screen. Others report that after leaving the site, their computer screen flickers randomly, sometimes showing flashes of their own face, but with something off. A Reddit user named No Exit Allowed claimed he accessed the Watchers out of curiosity. Unlike others, he didn't experience an instant horror. At first, the site greeted him and displayed his location, browsing history and hidden thoughts. But instead of shutting his laptop, he kept watching. That's when the screen went black. His reflection appeared. But something was wrong. At first, it was just him. Then, another face slowly formed behind him, a pale, distorted version of himself. It grinned. He slammed his laptop shut, but the next time he opened it, the webcam light was on. A new message appeared. You shouldn't have looked. His webcam light still flickers randomly to this day, even when his laptop is off. A college student named Mira G was browsing conspiracy forums when a link redirected her to the Watchers. The screen glitched. Her laptop speakers crackled. Then text appeared. Welcome, Mira. You never told anyone about the diary entry, did you? Confused, she scrolled down. The page displayed something horrifying, a word-for-word copy of a diary entry she had written when she was 11. It was never digitized. It wasn't stored anywhere online. It was in a physical notebook that she had lost years ago. The diary entry described an imaginary friend named Hush who would talk to her at night. She had forgotten about him until now. Shaking, she closed the laptop. That night, she woke up to a faint whisper. You remember me now. She hasn't slept with the lights off since. The true nature of the watchers remains a mystery. Is it an advanced AI surveillance program, a government experiment, or something older, something that has always been there, lurking in the digital shadows? One thing is certain: if you ever find it, it has already found you.